afternoon. Welcome to the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank. It has been kind of a weird day on this Tuesday. Most of us have not seen rain at all, but where we have seen rain, it has been a nuisance. We start off with a look at the radar over portions of the Mississippi Valley, and again, you look at that radar image, you go, okay, we got a few spotty storms, and that kind of tells the story. And that really tells the story of the last hour or so. But as you take a look at the loop over the last 12 hours, where we have seen spotty storms, they were persistent through the overnight and early morning hours, and it prompted a flash flood warning shortly after 7 o'clock this morning, continued until 10 or about 10:15. And as of last check, about 4.5 inches of rain at the Vicksburg-Tallulah Regional Airport. Now, for those that don't know where that observation is, that's technically, if you're familiar with Madison Parish, just kind of north of the Mound area. And again, about 4.5 inches of rain observed there. And so that gets your attention. That also is over double the record that's set back in 2008. If you saw the Too Long Didn't Read, you already know all of that stuff. But again, a notable start to the day for folks in Madison Parish and across portions of Warren County. As you move farther westward, kind of go back here to the most recent radar images, and a few spotty showers have popped up across portions of Jackson Parish, Southern Ouachita Parish, Caldwell Parish. Nothing really major, but again, something to worth note and something we'll keep an eye on as we head through the rest of the afternoon. Rain totals over the last 6 hours does not tell the whole story, obviously, across portions of Madison Parish and right along the Mississippi Valley. Just shy of an inch of rainfall quickly with some of those isolated storms up near Lake Providence, and a trace of precipitation elsewhere across the region as well. Temperatures, rain cooled along the Mississippi Valley, upper 70s, low to mid 80s, and daytime highs back into the mid to upper 80s to near 90 degrees, probably by the end of the afternoon in most locations. Scott, thanks so much for joining us on YouTube this afternoon. I'm loving this new format as well, and again, gives us the space to be very, very creative and innovative and forward-thinking in bringing weather information to you. And hopefully, we continue to learn from our mistakes and also what works and what doesn't as we go through the next days, weeks, months ahead. You look at Futurecast, again, rain chances kind of just fester, pretty isolated to scattered in nature through the rest of the afternoon. Kind of do the same thing again tomorrow. And one thing that I want you to note as you look at the Futurecast as we go into the day on Thursday is as the rain chances clear out, we see a little bit more sunshine. Temperatures start becoming a little bit dodgy, and a lot of areas could see the mid-90s by Thursday afternoon. Could even see the upper 90s for Friday. That's something that I'll make note of in the 7-day forecast in just a minute. Quick look at the tropical development, up to, again, about a 70% chance of seeing one of these African waves, or one of the waves moving off the African coastline, now actually kind of out over the central or far eastern Atlantic. That looks like it has a pretty decent potential for tropical development over the next 7 days, about a 70% chance there. Obviously, we'll keep an eye on any development as we kind of hit the peak of the Atlantic hurricane season and see what that could mean for any of the Gulf Coast states over the next week to 10 days, 2 weeks. That's a long way from now, any development out there. It'll take a while to get here. Probably, I would think, 10 to 14 days if it were to head this direction. And again, there's no promises that that's going to happen either. Your tropical forecasts are made possible by Russell Moore Lumber, where their pine is fine. Go see Brian and the guys. And also, again, pretty impressive setup of seasonings and sauces and stuff like that. So go check them out. Not just wood. Either way, a look at the tropical satellite, and you'll kind of see what I'm talking about in terms of the African wave that's kind of moved off the coast, now moving out over the open Atlantic. Again, not overly organized, but you can kind of see why there's concern for development there, and we'll keep an eye on that, obviously, over the next week. Check the day planner, and as we go through the rest of the afternoon, again, the scattered storms are a possibility. Daytime highs will kind of hover in the upper 80s to near 90. There will be some areas, obviously, with the rain-cooled spots along the Mississippi Valley that may only see the mid-80s today. Lows tonight will be near 70 degrees. We've tweaked the overnight lows just a smidge because of the cloud cover and the rain chances across the region. And speaking of the rain chances, down to about 10%. Again, where we see the overnight showers and storms fester could create some headaches. That's what we saw this morning in Madison Parish. So, again, not saying that it's likely in any one particular location, but where you get those storms, they could be a headache. A look at the 7-day forecast, and here's some things to note as we go through the rest of this week. The scattered storms are possible today and tomorrow, but the temperatures start climbing ahead of a few weak boundaries that pass through the area. The most notable cold front probably brings changes by the end of the weekend and the first parts of next week. But until then, it's hot and it's humid. Look for Friday to be back in the mid to upper 90s for a good chunk of the area. Now, this is also kind of the first full high school football weekend in the Arklamis. I know that our Mississippi schools have been ongoing for a while now, but as we kind of climb into week one of the high school season, I believe in Arkansas and in Louisiana, again, temperatures will be way up there, well above normal for this time of year, ahead of that first boundary. Again, we talk about compressional warming, and that's what you run into there. So again, hot and humid. Some showers and storms could return for the weekend, and also maybe early to middle parts of next week. A little bit of an unsettled pattern as we go through that stretch, but obviously a lot of moving and shaking going on here in the short term. That does it for the forecast for now. I'll join you a little bit later on this afternoon into the early evening hours. We'll take a look at the radar, keep an eye on things. Obviously, if anything pops up in the meantime, I'll let you know about it as well. Thanks for joining me.